What's up, guys? Rebel J here. Thanks for coming to my video. I got a great war for you guys today. Inferno Esports versus Catching Fire, CWL Division 2 Season 3. And so many things happened in this war. There was a couple triples on each side. I'm going to show you guys that. There was a really heartbreaking 99% 1-star, 99.99%. And yeah, during the war, one of our players got diagnosed positive COVID-19 during the war. I'll tell you guys about it. Stay tuned. This is my clan, Inferno Esports, against a Philippines clan called Catching Fire. And they did a really good job, 2 triples, and we won by 1 star right here. If we had tied on stars, they would have won on percentage. So it's a really good war that I'm about to bring you guys. Look at this. 99% 1 star. Oof. So the war opens up with an attack on moi. So he's coming in with the drag bat, and he uses an E-drag to funnel at the 9 o'clock and his heroes to funnel at the 12 o'clock. And to me, this kind of seems pretty spammy. I do not like E-drags being used as a funnel. This one happened to get a decent amount of value, but there's no way he could have known that my Tesla farm was right there. I mean, not no way, but the fact that he was able to get those Teslas is what made it good value. So if those Teslas hadn't been there, that would have been honestly 30 troop space for something that like 15 troop space could have done. So my CC comes out right here. He's starting the main force of his attack. My super minions tear apart his balloons. His balloons pull my tornado trap. So he wardens pretty early to protect everything from those super minions who was tearing up his army. Blimp makes it to the town hall, and he takes the town hall down, no problem. Secured the 2 stars right there. So all that's left now is the bat portion of his attack. The scatter shot has almost no health, and I think he was really hoping that the RC skips into the scatter shot right there. That Tesla farm really saved the scatter shot. Not that it mattered. The bats took it out. And so he's just got to freeze appropriately in order to take out all of these defenses. And he goes for the 1 defense targeting things to freeze and just totally ignores the fact that there's a wizard tower right there. So really unfortunate. Lost all of his bats. I don't think it would have been a triple. I think the bats would have gotten stuck on all of the storages. However, it would have been a lot higher percentage than the 75% he ends up getting after this little bit of cleanup. All because he froze the Inferno and air defense that was right here. 79%. And so next up is me, and I'm feeling revengey. I just got attacked first, so I'm going to answer our first attack on this guy. Initially, we're looking at all their bases, and we're thinking, like, probably super witches. We did not want to hybrid most of these bases. We did not want to lalo any of these bases. I'm sure a pro would look at this and be like, oh yeah, zap this, lalo that, and I just couldn't see it here. So we were actually talking in the planning phase, we're talking about this base, and we're talking about how it looks like they're trying to bait some zaps, like between the multi and the clan castle, or the eagle and the clan castle. And while we're talking and making fun of like trying to bait the zaps, we're like, okay, maybe we shouldn't zap this base. I look and I'm like, oh wait, I can hit those 2 defenses. I was like, where's the other scatter shot? Oh, I can get like 90% of the dangerous splash on this base with 10 zaps. So what's meta right now other than mass witches coming at you hot? So that's exactly what I do. Is I zap all this. I've never done this attack in a war, and I think I've only done this attack in FC like twice, 3 times. But I've watched it happen a lot, so I kind of knew what to do, and it's not that hard. You zap everything, and then you drop the witches and let them tear through the base. The only things that I really had to be careful about was where to use my Royal Champion and what to use with my Siege. So I chose the Ram, and inside the Ram ends up being a Yeti and a bunch of sneaky goblins, because I wasn't sure if the witches were just going to walk all the way around this base. I swag my poison right here because the queen just shot those headhunters right in the face. There was no need to place that poison. I should have used it on this hound, which ends up causing me a substantial amount of trouble later on in the raid. So the queen and the warden take out the single, and then they take out the eagle, and there's nothing left on this base after that, which is sweet. And I really expected the king to go up into the air defense, but either way he was going to get the same kind of tanky value I needed for the royal champion. And I dropped the royal champion, and I wanted her to take out all of the defenses throughout this section and just allow the witches to keep coming up and eventually finish off this final compartment. And that's exactly what happens. Between the skeletons, the golems, and the king, the royal champion takes almost no damage. She's able to walk through every single one of these like last remaining defenses that really could have stood a chance, and this base is decimated. I had a bunch of time left over. I had both of my abilities I didn't need to use for both my queen and my royal champion. I end up using them. I'm not taking any chances, but I didn't need to. That royal champion ability was actually pretty cool. I play around with the royal champion a lot, just seeing what kind of mad range I can get with her disc throw, and it bounces off the wizard tower into the storage and chunks the storage out. At this point, we're feeling pretty hyped. We're up on a star. We're up substantial, and the worst thing happens. What's the worst thing? They answer with a 3-star. We're thinking, oh, pressure's on, and they're thinking, nah, no pressure. We got this. So he's coming in with a Yeti Smash, and what he ends up doing is he brings, along with the Quad Quake, he brings 5 zaps, and he does this in order to take out the CC, which I thought was genius. I honestly, I cannot remember seeing this in a war, so when I'm watching this, I said, oh, that's the coolest thing. He gets mad zap, like way more value out of those Quad Quake than just opening up a compartment. So I thought that was sweet. I thought that was something worth pointing out. These guys did good. So the Warden Walk is going to get a pretty solid funnel. The King and the Witches. So he drops Witches with the King. And I think all of these guys do this really. And what the Witches end up doing for the King is those little skeletons can distract a single target. So he's obviously worried about the single target. He wants the King to walk around this whole outside of the base. Clutch thing he does is drop that Headhunter to help the King take the other King. And now they can walk around the base while the main force of this army just guts the heck out of this base. Once the Grand Warden Eternal Tome wears off, the 2 scatter shots really crush what troops were in there, which was pretty much all of his troops. He had almost everything alive until that Grand Warden Eternal Tome wore off. But at that point, it did not matter. The Queen was at full health. The Queen has ability. The King still has ability, and he only just now placed the Royal Champion. And you'll see, like, a key factor in getting these triples, especially in this war, but I really think watching attacks in most wars, is if you can set the funnel and you can keep your Royal Champion alive in the latter phase of the attack, then you're going to triple. The Royal Champion is super strong. She's my favorite hero. Wish I could get a skin for her. But she's going to end up coming through. He's going to pop the ability any second here. Yep. Try and soften up that scatter shot. And yeah, it was a pretty demanding triple. He did not really need the King ability. He ends up using it just to be safe, but he didn't need it. And there's the Tornado Trap. Right at the very end. Giving us a little hope, even though he had, like, actually a lot of time left. So my triple was quickly negated by their triple. So it's back to the drawing board. It's Longview in with what he called the retro Town Hall 13 attack. So he's going to start with a Warden Walk at 12 o'clock. Gets really good value. He has one easy little slip up, and I feel like it's honestly one of the only mistakes in this raid. And other than that, excellent attack. So back when Town Hall 13 first came out, we used a lot of these P.E.K.K.A.'s, Yetis combination. So when I saw this, I said, oh, bringing it old school. And he said, yep, taking it retro. And that was pretty cool. It ended up being a really good attack. King start funnel at 3 o'clock. Siege barracks at 3 o'clock. People need to stop texting me. And I'm going to speed it up right here because he takes his sweet time on this funnel. Rages up the Warden, keeping him alive. He does not want to pop that Eternal Tome early. And right here, King's going to get one more shot off on the scatter. But he needed 2 shots in order to take the scatter out. The only thing that goes wrong in this raid right now. He drops the Yetis. He wants to bring the Grand Warden back in. He doesn't want the Grand Warden going off soloing the whole raid. But the Grand Warden doesn't finish off the scatter shot. CC comes out. Town Hall is activated. He drops that Grand Warden ability. The Headhunters were tearing up his Warden right there. But either way, the ability would have popped at about the same time. So Town Hall goes down. He finds the Tornado Trap. This scatter shot is banging on his troops. It's not doing a whole lot of damage because his troops kind of spread out a little bit. So the healers are over here stuck on these P.E.K.K.A.s and Yetis. And his queen and a couple of bowlers are kind of over here going kamikaze. So that little split was really unfortunate, unlucky, considering both of his jumps are right there. He really wanted the full force of the army to hit there. He drops the Royal Champion, and this attack ends up being really wicked close. So Royal Champion gets stuck on some skeletons. He's starting his cleanup over here with the little wizard. He's got the healers still on the P.E.K.K.A. and Yetis, but they're taking too much damage between the Grand Warden, the Expo, and the Multi. So he's trying to freeze them in order to keep these troops alive as long as possible. He wants them to tank for the Royal Champion. Royal Champion ability pops. He wants the Royal Champion to stay alive. That big bomb followed by another big bomb really chunks her, and then a Grand Warden statue on defense is just OP. It's going to tear you up. All in all, really good attack. Puts us ahead of them. So now it's their turn. What are they coming in with? Drag back. With 2 Electro Dragons, and honestly the worst way to funnel. I hate when people funnel like this. I don't think it's good value. Once again, the Electric Dragon finds our Tesla farms and gets better value than it should have, but still not value that was worth. Look, this Electro Dragon's going to go down right here, and it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings, 6 buildings. So for 30 spaces, he got 6 buildings. I don't think that's worth it. So he's suing, and I think what he wanted with this Sui was the Eagle. So he's diving in. King's tanking for the Queen. Ice Golem was taken for the King. Starts off really pretty good. You're thinking, oh, the Queen's going to walk in. The Queen's going to get the Eagle. He's going to get some pretty good value out of this Sui. And then he pops the ability, and the archers trigger the Tesla. Tesla farm coming in clutch. I don't think the Royal Champion went where he wanted him to, or maybe he didn't. He was just trying to create a funnel, or maybe he wanted the Royal Champion to go to the scatter. Not too sure. Either way, scatter stays standing, Eagle stays standing, and now we see the detriment to that 30 space troop not creating a good enough funnel is he's got 5 dragons breaking apart from where he wanted the main force of the raid to go. So the dragons are going to move through. The Headhunters come onto the Grand Warden. He pops the Grand Warden in order to protect them from the Headhunters and also protect the Blimp. Takes the Town Hall down. Pretty much no problem. So now he's got the bats. Right? Last phase of the attack is the bats. But unfortunately, he's got a Wizard Tower, an Eagle Artillery, a Scatter Shot, a Queen, and a back end air sweeper. Blowing the wrong way. So what I really thought was going to happen is I thought he was going to drop the bats up at like 9 o'clock and take out those defenses. But instead, he freezes the air defense multi, drops all of the bats on it, which was really weird for me because he's got the sweeper blowing the wrong way. He's got the scatter shot about to be in range, and the scatter shot tears these bats apart. He gets almost 0 value from this 5 spells. Really more than that, right? The freezes and the bats, like 10 spells. And he gets almost no value from it. It ends up being a relatively low percent. And we have kind of a good lead. So while all of this was going on, all of these attacks were going on, one of our members was at the doctor's office about to get a COVID-19 test. And we hadn't heard from him during all these attacks, and we knew he was getting the test like any second after the war started. The war started like almost an hour late due to some issues on catching fire's side. And so he's sitting there, he gets the COVID test, he comes back. At this exact point, he pops on chat and says, "Yo, I just got a stick shoved up my nose for the COVID test." And we all get super distracted. We're talking about COVID-19, we're talking about what the test was like. And our boy Sun Tzu, probably just in the middle of all this distraction, goes on to edit his army and go in for his attack. But instead of clicking edit army, what does he do? He clicks attack, and he's in with 7 E-Drags, 14 balloons, and 10 archers. No poison, 7 freezes. Oh man. And he clicks attack, and he goes, crap. And we're like, what happened? And then we all go and click, and we're like, oh no. We all knew instantly what happened. So at this point, we're talking about this base. It's like 20 seconds by the time we all get in here, and we're trying to plan, and we're just telling him, go for the 2-star, go for the 2-star. Like, secure those stars and let us cover you. Like, let's work as a team to get this dub. Just make sure you get the 2 stars. And that's exactly what he does. He executes this adaptation, we're going to call it an adaptation, like amazingly well. So he starts by just spamming the E-Drags. E-Drags are going in, balloons are coming in right behind to try and soak up a couple mines. Early Grand Warden with the blimp in order to take down the Town Hall. Star 1 is secure. All that's left now is getting to 50%. So we recommend the King goes down at 6 o'clock. There's not a lot of high damage defenses on the outside of the base, right? He's got the single, the multi, and a single. So we figure the king can just walk up and get all of these trash buildings, and that'll be pretty good percentage. And now he drops the Royal Champion. He wants to try and reinforce what's left of the Electro Dragons. The Royal Champion does a pretty good job. Ends up taking out the Queen as well. He dropped the freeze, thinking that it was going to get the single as well, but the Royal Champion had already taken care of the single. The Tesla farm popping up at the 9 o'clock section was amazing, because that means the Queen just got a bunch of really easy defenses mid ability, and he ends up securing 1 archer at a time, because the Eagle Artillery is still alive. He ends up securing 70%, 71% just by dropping these archers one at a time. So 71% 2-star when you accidentally click attack. Pretty good. Pretty good, Sun Tzu. Pretty good. The worst possible thing happens right after that. So not only did you go from a COVID test into an accidentally click attack instead of edit army into what can only be worse from that is a triple. Enemy team comes in with another Zap Yeti Smash for a triple. So he takes out the Tesla and a couple other high defenses over there, and then he gets a really incredible funnel between the Zaps and the Warden Walk. It's just an awesome funnel, and what that's gonna allow him to do is he wants to send the main his main force into the Town Hall and just have them kind of something like that around the base, and just take as little damage at a time. So these whole back end defenses are gonna get like no playtime, no game time. They're sitting on the bench, and his players are taking like no hits pretty much throughout the raid. The only awesome part about this raid was how quickly these super minions tore down the king. Super minions on defense, defensive CC all the time. So you guys know how Yeti Smashes go. I'm going to rest my voice for a couple seconds while this replay plays. Again, RC being protected, taking as little damage as possible, getting amazing value. That's a triple. So now they're up on stars. We're like, oh crap, we got to do something. Next up is COVID Captain Kaladin. That's what I'm calling him. CKK. Oh, wait, COVID Captain CCK. There we go. COVID Captain Kaladin comes in with the Queen Charge Hybrid. And he starts with the Yeti funnel. The point of the Yeti was to have the Golemites take down the mortar as well, because we were a little worried that the Queen was going to walk instead of going into the Town Hall compartment. Unfortunately, as you can see on your screen, the healers are dropped before the Queen starts taking damage. What that means is if there's a damaged troop nearby and the Queen hasn't taken any damage or isn't taking damage, and the healers are going to go help the homie that's getting hit. So he ends up suing the Town Hall and swagging 5 healers. That's what happened just then. He sued the Town Hall and swagged 5 healers. The healers get picked off. So he's going to start and just try and make like what's left of his troops to make a funnel to try and get that L that you really need for a hybrid or a Lalo. The Queen does this little dance, walks in and out of the little teeny tiny compartment. Which is kind of what that compartment's there for. 1, it's meant to make super wall breaking hard, and 2, it's meant to make your walks hard. So he's starting the hybrid along with the king, just trying to get, again, we're like, optimize your percent. Get the most percent you can, and we're going to try and cover you with the stars. So he's working, pushing through a rage, followed by a heal, because the troops are about to come into range of the scatter shot, and he wants them at full health when they're taking on the scatter shot. Takes down the multi, but everything is getting hung up on the CC right now. I don't even think the miners are left alive, are they? I don't see any miners. Oh, yeah, no, the miners are still there. They're just really caught up on that CC. Scatter shot's wailing on him. He drops a heal over a rage because he knows this is the last stand. The troops aren't making it out of this compartment, so try and get as many buildings as you can is what's happening right here. The troops make their last stand. He's sitting at 54%, pops that RC ability. He's got 1 more rage. Tries to drop it to get the RC and Grand Warden, just a couple more buildings. And with these last little cleanup troops that he's got, ends up pulling up about 70%. Captain Kaladin COVID. Captain COVID Kaladin. COVID Captain Kaladin. Say that 10 times fast. COVID Captain Kaladin. COVID Captain Kaladin. Nope. Couldn't do it. Not gonna do it. So after that comes the best possible thing that could happen. So we're down on percent now, right? We had 270% attacks. We're also down on stars. So we're down on percent, down on stars. 1 attack, 2 attacks left. I think there's 2 attacks left. Nope, 1 attack left. Down on percent, down on stars. No matter what, if they had gotten 2 stars, they won this war. And the best possible thing happens for us, aside from like a DC, which don't want to wish that on anybody, Tim. 99% 1 star, awesome. Awesome for us. Won us the war. Defenses are clutch. And really, as you're going to see in a sec, this is a 99.99999% 1 star. 99.99999%. This Town Hall had a fraction of a health left. He's coming in with the Zap Witches. He saw my attack. He wanted to emulate me, and he almost did it. But you got to be clutch. You got to be clutch. That's all I'm going to say. Sun Tzu's base coming in clutch. You guys know how this witch's attack goes. I already narrated one of these. He sends the wall wrecker. He wants the troops to move in to the town hall. But I think that wall wrecker really broke late, and there wasn't a funnel set. So everything walks around except for 3 witches. And we really thought he was going to get it. We thought he had this. And then the freeze wears off. The town hall shreds those 3 witches. And it turns out he doesn't have it. So he sends a sneaky goblin in. And the sneaky goblin gets like 2 hits on it. I think is how many hits? 2, maybe 3. I think it was 2 hits. And so this town hall, look at this, 99.999%. All right, but he still has a bunch of troops left. And at this point, we're not we're not holding out very much hope. We honestly, at this point, we're talking about how he's got it, and the Giga Inferno on this town hall clutches it up. Even if that ground skelly hadn't been there, Giga Inferno came in clutch, shredded all of those troops. So you really got to get that town hall down on these Super Witches attacks. Came in clutch, 99.99% 1 star on Sun Tzu's base. Still, the only way we win right now is a triple. And we're doing the math. We've got our calculator apps open. We're talking to B Wells, and he's like, is there any way, like, he said, no, even if I get a triple, we don't win. We're like, what, B Wells? We'd be up on stars. And he goes, why y'all always got to put the pressure on me? Pressure's on, and B Wells coming in with the Super Witch Gaming attack. Super Witches. Starts with the Warden Walk at 9 o'clock. And it takes forever, as Warden Walks do. I really like this attack. Right before this war, we were actually practicing with Super Witches. We know that they're the meta. We just don't really practice with them very much. I think B-Wells actually got a triple with Super Witches on our last war, too. He's the only one that uses them. So here comes the Super Witches. And everything's going according to plan. He's got normal wall breakers, and he gets that first wall break. He almost got 2 wall breaks with it. Obviously, I am wrong, but I think that he should just let them beat through that first wall. He gets the triple anyways. It doesn't matter. He drops the poison on the Clan Castle. These guys didn't have any super minions in their Clan Castles. Really fortunate for us, because I think a lot of our attacks would have gone way more downhill if there had been Super Witches. But yeah, comes in, and these things are so tanky, they just won't die. The only thing that really irritated me, not on B-Wells, but just irritated me, is this little chick over here spawns a super minion, and that dude just beats on the wall the whole time. He's somehow out of the archer tower range. Like, look at that. Somehow out of the archer tower range, just beating on a wall until these guys come in with the cleanup. Get that last troop. He had about 2 seconds left in the attack, and that was it. 12-11. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm Rebel J. Check me out on Twitch. I don't stream very much, but I want to. I just got a face cam. Look, that's my face. Oh, look at that nice beard. And, yeah.
Picking up the pieces that I lost in the lobby. I put you against the wall, you had us body to body. I can't help the way you make me feel, it's so hard to copy. Let's find common ground, meet me in the lost and found, yeah. Dark days turning into dark nights. I hit the strip and spend it all, I'm having hard times. That reminiscing had me looking through the archives. I seen a picture of you looking like a star shines. And you're bright, 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 like the lights on a fight night, night. Love hit me like a mic, mic, mic. You know I'ma get it right, right, right. So stay with me, run away with me. Need like a dope fiend, need dope. Need like a coke fiend, need coke. Even though your heart cold, ski slope. I really hope the song bringing me close. Shine.
Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for stopping by. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. Go into the comments, tell me what you want to see in future videos, and check me out on Twitch, RebelJ117. Love you guys. Bye.